I'm going to say something that might surprise people. I'm not Republican, but the Democratic Party is losing me. And honestly, I don't think I'm the only one. There was a time I felt like Democrats actually represented everyday people. Like they understood the weight of a mortgage, the cost of a gallon of milk, and the dignity of a hard day's work. But now, it feels different. It feels like the party has drifted away from the kitchen table and into the faculty lounge. It feels disconnected from the very people it claims to protect. Because while they're debating the nuances of policy and making grand promises on the world stage, regular people are right here, struggling with the math of survival. The cost of living isn't just a statistic, it's a daily weight. It's the price of eggs, the utility bill that keeps rising, and the rent that consumes more of the paycheck every single month. People are stressed. I see it in my neighbors, I feel it in my own life. Families are trying to figure it out day by day, juggling bills like they're playing a game of Tetris where the pieces never quite fit. And instead of real solutions, it feels like we're getting explanations or excuses. We're told inflation is transitory, or that the economy is actually great, even if we don't feel it. And let me be clear, this is not me switching sides. This isn't a campaign ad for the other team. This is me saying, something is fundamentally off with the home I thought I had. Because holding one side accountable doesn't mean you automatically support the other. It just means you're paying attention. It means you care enough to demand better. And right now, I don't feel heard. I don't feel represented. I feel like my concerns are treated as an inconvenience to the narrative rather than the core of the mission. So no, this isn't about left or right. This is about reality. It's about whether the party of the people still knows who the people actually are. And if the Democratic Party doesn't start listening to people, they're going to keep losing them. It's not a threat, it's a diagnosis. Simple as that. Let's talk about the heart of the issue. For decades, the Democratic Party was the champion of the working class. They were the union halls and the factory floors. But somewhere along the way, the language changed. The focus shifted from how do we help you pay the bills to how do we help you understand why we can't. The rhetoric became academic. It became about high-level theories and social engineering, while the actual foundation, the economic stability of the average American, started to crumble. Look at housing. We're told that things are being built, but for who? Young people can't buy homes. Families are being squeezed out of their own neighborhoods by skyrocketing rents. When we bring this up, we're met with charts and graphs, but you can't live in a chart. You can't raise a child in a graph. The pain is real, and the response feels cold. Then there's healthcare. We were promised a system that worked for everyone. Instead, we have a system where a single emergency can bankrupt a family, even with insurance. We're stuck in a bureaucratic maze, and instead of a map, we're given more forms to fill out. It feels like the party is more interested in protecting the system than the people within it. And it's not just the cities. Rural America feels completely forgotten. The party used to have a presence there, a voice. Now, it feels like those areas are treated as flyover country. There's this growing sense of contempt for anyone who doesn't perfectly align with the current talking points. If you have questions, you're labeled. If you have doubts, you're cast out. We've created these echo chambers where only one brand of correct thought is allowed. But the real world is messy. People's lives are complicated. You can't fit them into a box. There are so many of us in the middle. People who want progress, but also want pragmatism. We want leaders who are more interested in results than in winning a Twitter argument. We've seen too many historic bills pass that don't seem to change anything on our street level. The promises are loud, but the impact is quiet. Often, it's non-existent. I think the Democratic Party is having an identity crisis. It's trying to be everything to everyone and ending up being nothing to the people who actually need it most. The gap between the leadership and the base is widening. The leadership is talking about legacy, while the base is talking about, can I afford gas this week? There's a massive divide between those with advanced degrees who run the party and those with life experience who used to vote for it. Those two groups aren't speaking the same language. Student debt is crushing a generation, but the solutions offered feel like band-aids on a bullet wound. We need to talk about why college costs so much, not just who pays for it. And then there's the issue of safety. In many cities, people don't feel safe walking to the store at night. When they voice that, they're often told their perception is the problem. But for the mother waiting for her son to come home, or the shop owner who's been rented 3 times, it's not a perception, it's their life. And they feel abandoned by their leaders. Trust is hard to earn and very easy to lose. Once people stop believing that you have their best interests at heart, they stop listening, and eventually, they stop voting. The threat to democracy isn't just external. It's the internal rot of a party that has stopped being curious about the lives of its own constituents. If the Democrats want to win, they need to stop blaming the voters and start looking in the mirror. They need to ask, why did we lose someone like her? Someone like me? The party was built on the backs of industrial workers. But when those industries left, it felt like the party left too, following the money to the coasts and the tech hubs. There's a bubble, and inside that bubble, the concerns of a mechanic in Ohio or a waitress in Florida feel like distant secondary issues compared to the latest crisis on social media. Small business owners are drowning in regulations and taxes, while large corporations seem to have a direct line to the people in power. The little guy feels smaller than ever. We see the hypocrisy. We see the politicians who say one thing and do another. We see the quote-unquote man of the people who hasn't stepped into a grocery store in 20 years. The wealth gap is wider than ever. And while the party talks a big game about taxing the rich, the average person's tax bill only seems to go in one direction, up. I'm tired. I think a lot of us are tired. We're tired of the drama, tired of the excuses, and tired of being told that if we aren't with you 100%, we're the enemy. Most people just want a normal life. They want to be able to provide for their kids, feel safe in their homes, and have a little left over at the end of the month. Is that too much to ask? The party often claims the moral high ground. But morality is about more than just your position on a hot-button issue. It's about how you treat the people you represent. These are the faces that the party is losing. They aren't deplorables. They aren't extremists. They're just people who feel like the party they once trusted has left them behind. Silence from the leadership isn't just an absence of noise. It's a message. It says, we hear you, but we don't care. And that message is being received loud and clear. We're at a fork in the road. The Democratic Party can choose to listen and adapt, or they can continue down this path of detachment and watch their base slowly evaporate. I don't want to be a political orphan. I want to believe in something again. But I can't believe in a party that doesn't seem to believe in the reality of my life. One person saying no is just a whisper. But millions of people saying no is a roar. And that roar is growing louder every single day. They ignore it at their own peril. Give us a reason to hope again. Not a slogan, not a campaign promise. Give us a reason to believe that you are actually on our side when the cameras are off. Time is running out. The next election isn't just about who wins. It's about whether the party can prove it still has a soul, whether it still knows how to serve. My vote is not a given, it's earned. And right now, the invoice for the Democratic Party is overdue. I'm not the only one waiting for them to pay their debts to the people. We all want a better future. We just differ on how to get there. But we can't even start the journey if we can't agree on where we are right now. And right now, we're lost. So I'll keep speaking up, I'll keep paying attention, and I'll keep waiting for a party that actually sees us. Until then, the disconnect will only grow. Simple as that.